Hello, welcome all in this fourth episode of Sustainability Simply Put Talk series. And today we have a very special guest, Shiv Narayan Singh, who is Special Project Associate at Indian Institute of Forest Management, IIFM, Bhopal. So, welcome Shivji to this fourth episode. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Dhananjay ji. It is my pleasure to join you in this noble cause, and we will contribute towards the sustainability, which is also the topic of the talk. Over to you.
Yes, thank you so much. So, in this our series, we are trying to understand sustainability. So, first thing I would like to ask you, as a senior researcher in the sustainability field, what is sustainability for you?
Definitely, that is a very good question. So, first of all, I will brief about my work a little bit, and then we will come to the sustainability part.
Yes, please.
So, we at Indian Institute of Forest Management, we have Center of Excellence, which is known as Center for Climate Change Studies. So here we have, bunch of senior officials and also young researchers to enhance research and development in the field of climate change. We do a lot of projects like which is related to natural resource management and special focus on forestry, water, agriculture, and rural development. And we also monitor natural resource management related projects. So for us, sustainability is, if we are talking about agriculture, so how agriculture could be profitable business for the farmer, also reduction in the emission from agriculture, and enhancement in the socio-economic condition of the farmer.
Right.
If we achieve all these three things through new technology in agriculture, we could say, yes, we are moving towards sustainability in agriculture, because we have almost reached 8 billion population, and in 2050 it will be 10 billion. So to feed 10 billion people, agriculture is the only thing which we are dependent on. So if we have to feed 10 billion people, we have to really improve our agriculture system. So in terms of agriculture, we can say that in terms of forestry also, how we can manage and utilize forestry in improving the lifestyle of the communities which are living in and around the forest. Also, how we can protect the forest with the help of those villagers, forest fringe villagers, and with the help of forest officials and government sectors officials, and also generating the employment. So these three aspects together in terms of forestry sector can lead to sustainability if managed well. So these things in water management also, because we are facing trouble in mega cities of India like Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi. So how to manage water so that our future generation will also have water resources, and also how we can improve the efficiency of water utilization in terms of its contamination and also in terms of consumption. So these things together can definitely lead to sustainability. So these are the three sectors in which we are working, and also these all sectors are related to rural development. Basically, we the focus of work is mainly in the rural sector. Almost our resources are in the rural sector. It is not in the urban sector. So most of the work in development sectors are also in the rural sector. So it is very important to take all those stakeholders who are living and residing in the rural landscape of India need to be contributing in achieving the sustainability.
Right. So I understand that the work you are doing, that involves multiple stakeholders, because it's really difficult to manage multiple stakeholders at the same time, and these kind of projects are complex in nature. How do you work, how do you manage such challenges?
To start with, I will say that our work is field based and also desk based. Suppose if we have to start a new project, so we have to go through a lot of literature. If we are putting any ideas, so first of all we have to do a very thorough research what are the new emerging things in that field, and also what are the challenges which has not been addressed yet. So we have to identify the loophole in already going through things, and then if there is any gap, then we try to improve that gap, how we can improve with the help of all the research and development which we have. So we need to put our ideas to major stakeholders, maybe we can say even the government sector or maybe the private sector, because the private sector involvement in sustainability has been increased in last 1-2 decades. So they are very active now. Every private stakeholders, they are into the sustainability, and government is already the part of it. Even a multilateral organization, bilateral, multilateral cooperation between two countries. So these all things are coming in the picture. So we have to first make our ideas understand to our stakeholder. And secondly, once the ideas are identified and the cooperation is about to start between state or maybe between private and public sector, or maybe between two countries, right? So in order to do that, we have, exchange of our ideas, if what we can do to improve the already existing system, or what maybe we can introduce new things. So we need to focus on these 3 points, 4 points, and then we start a pilot project. So in pilot project, suppose if we want to do a climate smart agriculture project, so we have identified that these are the interventions which we are trying to do. So first of all, we will have a stakeholder consultation with all the stakeholders, starting from the farmer to the field officials, government officials, and private sector partners. And then we will define, okay, for this landscape, these are the major problems which they are facing. So first we will identify the problem, and then accordingly we will do the intervention. And first 1 year or 2 year, it will be in pilot kind of mode. And once the result of pilot mode is successful, then we can replicate the same ideas everywhere. I mean, in same geographical condition. So these are the things which we are doing right now. And also these kind of projects, earlier the monitoring and evaluation was not part of it. But now every agency is doing monitoring and evaluation, because we have very limited fund. How to utilize those funds in effective way is only come when we will start monitoring and evaluating the project. We can identify the loopholes, and then we can manage those loopholes so that the efficiency and the effectiveness both comes together. So these kind of things which we are working on continuously, doing it continuously.
Right, great. So that seems very interesting work, and yes, it poses its own challenges also.
Yes.
So to talk about, as you said, monitoring and evaluation. So is it related to CSR, the Companies Act that we have, CSR mandate, or monitoring and evaluation in itself for the environmental conservation or sustainability is a different term?
So it is a very good question. These private sector organization, first we'll start to talk about private sector organization. So private sector organization, government has mandated that you have to do the CSR, right? So
for our viewers, CSR is corporate social responsibility.
Yes. So this corporate social responsibility is the part of their income, their revenues, a portion of that which they have to contribute to the society. So in different ways they can contribute in the society, like schooling for underprivileged children, environmental causes like doing plantation, also environmental causes like cleaning rivers, or maybe restoration of a landscape which is barren, those kind of things. So these all comes under, I mean, there are a lot of varieties which come under CSR. So CSR projects we definitely need to monitor, or any project we need to monitor. It is because when suppose you have started a project and you have a target to achieve. Suppose a project is for 3 years and you have a target that in 3 years we will reach to X number of household. So in the process you have to monitor ki this is my time frame and where we have achieved. So that will only come if you are monitoring your project, first of all. Second thing, the loopholes. Suppose what are the difficulties you are facing in reaching to the household. if you are not on time and you are lagging behind, so if there is a problem, okay, this is the problem that we need to fix so that we can reach our target in time. So monitoring is there. It will take all the gaps which are there, loopholes, and you will strengthen that loophole to achieve your target. So this is the first part, monitoring, and then come the evaluation, because both are different things. Monitoring is in the process. I mean, when you have a process, you have initiated a project, it will come monitoring, and evaluation will come. What are the outcomes of your project? Suppose if you have given farmers some good quality of seeds, so you have definitely given them, but how you will come to know ki, okay, these seeds have worked in the field or not? We will go to the productivity measurement. Ki, okay, earlier the farmer were sowing these kind of varieties, but the yield was not sufficient. Now we have introduced this variety, which is a drought tolerant variety, which is a heat tolerant variety. So in terms of excess rainfall and in terms of less rainfall, in both conditions, these seeds will yield more as compared to the earlier seed. So these are the things which works together. I mean, public sector as well as private sector. In both the sectors, the managers are very effective and very efficient nowadays due to this monitoring and evaluation portion coming in the development sector. So both of them are getting benefit of it.
Okay, perfect. What I understood is, so monitoring is something that we do when the project is implemented, right? Yeah. So it's during the implementation phase. So that we can course correct. So if there are any issues, the new challenges, so then we can course correct and we can ensure that the project can be completed within timeline. Definitely. And evaluation part is something, the outcomes that we had visualized at the start of the project, whether they are achieved or not, right?
Yes.
That is monitoring. Okay, great.
Yeah.
During our discussion, so you also talked about smart agriculture or climate smart agriculture. So we would like to know, what is smart agriculture? How do you define it? And what are its different components?
Yes, definitely. So I'll start with this climate smart agriculture. So this is a very good project, which is also part of Government of Madhya Pradesh pilot project and also part of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. When India has submitted its adaptation and mitigation, I mean climate change policy, so they have created 8 missions. So one of the mission is sustainable agriculture.
Right.
Or agriculture is also one of the 8 mission in our National Climate Adaptation and Mitigation Program of Government of India. Basically, climate smart agriculture is a transition, right, from earlier practices which we are doing. So how it is smart? It is smart because it sustainably increases the yield, that is the productivity, by using various kind of new varieties, drought tolerant, heat tolerant, flood tolerant. Even in coastal areas, they have different kind of varieties which are salt tolerant. When we practice climate smart agriculture, we also provide many new technologies like direct seeding of rice. So in direct seeding of rice, no excess water is required. It is utilizing water resource very efficiently. So suppose earlier we are having this normal practice of rice. So we are dependent on rainfall and also on groundwater. Right. But if we are practicing smart agriculture, we do not have to much focused and much needed flooded field. So flooded field is not required for this kind of practice. In very limited water, the yield is very good, and farmers are practicing it all everywhere now, and we have also seen in the field. So the second thing is that it reduces removes the greenhouse gases. Third component is that it is also providing food security. So this climate smart agriculture has 3 main pillars. Okay. First pillar is that increase the productivity. Right. Second thing is reduction and removal of greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. by new practices like plantation, like crop residue management practices, like zero tillage farming, like direct seeding of rice, new cultivar of rice, and also it is enhancing our food security part. So these three pillars is known as climate smart agriculture, and it has lots of practices because it is context specific. Suppose there is a farmer who is in the mountain, their practices will be different to a farmer who is living in a plain or who is living in a coastal areas. So it is a context specific thing where you require action based project depending upon your surrounding and your landscape.
So this reminds me one quote from Forest Stewardship Council. So I guess it was their logo. It said that there is no absolute solution. So you have to make it tailor-made, context-specific. So I guess climate smart agriculture also, we have to analyze the specific context and time, and accordingly we can implement that. When we're discussing about the smart agriculture, you have contributed to Climate Smart Agriculture Index. We would also like to know about it. So what is that index?
It is coming through this monitoring and evaluation itself. We have done a pilot project on 300 farmers who are our direct beneficiaries. So we have taken all measurement like what is the yield, what is the amount of money which they have saved due to subsidized seeds. We have also provided them with nutrient and also green manure. So in that also they have saved the seed. These direct seeding of rice practices have reduced their dependency on water. So if there is reduced dependency on water, so you have also decreased your cost of cultivation. So all these, I mean, we have identified 26 indicators of the process and 15 indicators in the outcome, and we have computed an index. So what does that index signifies? So suppose if there is a farmer who is practicing such and such and such practices to improve their efficiency in agriculture sector, then how we can identify this farmer is climate smart farmer and this farmer is a non-climate smart farmer. So we have taken all the data from the field, and we have also taken data of non-beneficiary farmer in same landscape.
The control group type.
The control group.
That we talk.
Yes, the control group. And there, after taking those data, we also identified these 26 process indicator and 15 outcome indicators, and then we called for a consultation workshop. So we have done the ranking exercise of all the climate smart agriculture practices, and we have normalized the value of the score. It is on 0 to 9 scale, and then we have done all the calculation. The farmer who are practicing this climate smart agriculture practices are less vulnerable to climate change. Climate change in agriculture is like, we are talking about the extreme events where a farmer have, grown the vegetables or maybe crop in the field. And once there come the erratic rainfall and all the production or all the cereals have gone from the rain, or maybe from the drought, or maybe from any other climatic condition. So when we go to field, we have asked our farmer, how you are perceiving these practices and how you have influenced others as well, because a government do not have this amount of fund, then they can serve everywhere. So it is it is building the capacity of a small group of farmers, and then these farmers can contributing in a sense that in their landscape they will pass on the knowledge which they have gained to other farmers as well. So the entire region will be getting benefit out of that. So this kind of thing is happening in our field locations, because the government has done it in 3 districts. So earlier they have 60 villages, 20 villages in each district. Now after successful outcomes of this project, the government has taken another 100 villages in all those districts. Matlab 300 villages, 300 new villages has been identified, and those 300 villages are part of this smart agriculture project there. So suppose if no monitoring or no evaluation has been done, so we cannot had made the improvement which ultimately related to our projected outcomes and impact of the project. So it is only because of this monitoring and evaluation that timely we have checked every parameter, every situation, and accordingly we have acted, we have planned, so that our implementation efficiency is also up to the mark, and our effectiveness of the project at the end in terms of benefiting the farmer, we are also getting that. So this is how the monitoring and evaluation pays to a project. Second thing, I also want to relate to climate smart agriculture, the use of remote sensing and GIS.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was coming to that in our next question. Yes.
Okay. If you have a question, then please brief me. Then maybe I can answer better.
Yes. Yeah. So as we were discussing climate smart agriculture, so I guess this is a new buzzword, that is GIS, right? Yeah. So we would like to know in simple terms how we can tell this to a school going children. So what is a remote sensing and what is a GIS?
Definitely. Actually, these are very technical terms, and for school going children and also to the youth who are our prime beneficiary of the sustainability talk series, I think many people have sit in aeroplanes. How remote sensing has been done, how the pictures are taken. Suppose you are traveling in an aircraft and you have taken a picture, okay, with your mobile phone. So it is your mobile camera is a small camera, but what the actual thing is there, that they have a very big camera and they also take picture of different locations, various locations. Earlier it was carried out from big aircrafts. So what they used to do is they used to place the camera here. Suppose this is our aircraft and it is moving, so the camera would be placed here and they will take the picture of the earth
facing
surface.
Downward.
Yeah, facing downwards.
Okay.
So camera will be like this. So it is, suppose it is our sensor, it is camera. So it will be placed and the aircraft is flying and the pictures are taken. So these are the older days. So now we have satellites, उपग्रह जिसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं. That satellites now we are taking into the lower earth orbit जो होता है, and then we used to take very good sensors, very powerful camera, and we used to take the picture of earth surface. So those pictures, we utilize those pictures in mapping the resources like water, or maybe like monitoring forest, or maybe cities. So these come under remote sensing. Remote sensing is taking picture from atmosphere of earth. And then when we compile those pictures into information, those pictures into form of information. Suppose we have taken a picture and we have created a map out of those pictures. Like, we have a smart city project. Everyone knows about smart city project is going on. So how to monitor the activities in smart cities project? So first of all, what we will do, we will have all the roads, where are the schools, where are the college buildings, where is the police station, or where are the metro stations, where are the railway stations, where are the airport. So with the help of that remote sensing picture, we will use that information to identify all the ground features. And once that ground features is coming in terms of information as a map with you, that part is known as GIS, Geographical Information System. So it is in terms of an information. So if with information, this kind of information, suppose you are using Google Maps. So how does Google Map works? So Google Map works on the same principle. We have the pictures of everywhere, every feature of Earth, and that picture is shared with the information. Here is the airport, here is the railway station, every feature. here is this mountain. So that image is now in the form of information which we use in our daily practices. So remote sensing is capturing a picture, and GIS is utilizing that picture in creating knowledge hub, getting information. So these are the two concepts. I think I have done it in a manner which everyone can understand.
Yes. So it's clearly understood now what is the remote sensing and what is GIS. So that takes us to the next question. So what is the role of this GIS in climate smart agriculture? Means what are the different parameters that we can use that will lead us to the smart agriculture practices?
Every technology, I mean, if we are using it in a good way, it will definitely enhance our knowledge, and it will also, reduce the time in which we are doing the research. It is the ultimate goal of using technology. Right. So we have tried a thing in this climate smart agriculture project, because we had farm ponds. We have given some hundreds and 150 farm ponds to the farmers. Mm-hmm. So what we thought, if we want to monitor this climate smart agriculture in a rapid manner, how we can monitor? Because the process of going to the field, capturing data, it is a long process, and it is also very expensive process. So how, with the help of this technology, we can rapidly access sitting on our desk? We have this remote sensing images of our project villages. We have taken the GPS location of the all farm ponds and fields where our farmers has done the intervention. So with the help of that, we have located that farm pond in GIS and remote sensing imagery. And then there is a term, NDVI, Normalized Difference Vegetation Index, and Normalized Difference Water Index. So the NDVI will tell you how healthy is your crop. So if you have to monitor a crop, then higher the value of NDVI, your crop productivity will be higher. It is healthy. Similarly, in case of water, if you have to measure surface water, then you will calculate the NDWI index. So with the help of that, we can say, earlier there was no farm pond, but now with our project intervention, we have a farm pond, and based on that, in lean month, basically when we are doing this Rabi crop, in which we have gram and wheat. So at that point of time, farmer needs water, because it is post monsoon. More than post monsoon, because in monsoon we have this rice and all. So their farmers, they are getting water due to rain-fed system. And in lean period time, we need to have water, adequate water to do with our cropping and all. So there we have calculated if in Rabi season, if there is improvement in the surface water or not, with the help of remote sensing, and if there is an improvement in vegetation, crops, and we have compared that to pre and in the post scenario. Without the farm pond, without the intervention, in the baseline where there was no intervention, what was the value of NDWI and NDVI? And after the completion of the project, what is the NDWI and NDVI? So when we compared those things together, it was getting good result. And with the help of that, we can say, there is a clear-cut improvement in NDVI if we see the past trends, and there is good improvement in NDWI if we see the past trends.
So this was possible because of GIS, right?
Yes. This is possible because of GIS and remote sensing.
Right.
If you do not have the image, then how you can, calculate the NDVI and NDWI values? So it will be very difficult. So the technology is there, and you can definitely use that technology to monitor, rapid monitor, without going to the field. If you have the location, if you have the GPS coordinates, without going to the field, you can definitely do that. So this is the technology.
So one interesting question over here. So to understand it in better way, so if there were no technology, so if GIS was not there, and for the same kind of work, so how many months or how many years would it take?
Yeah, definitely.
Can give us some rough idea.
Yeah. This is a definitely good question. Suppose we have a cropping calendar, right?
Right.
So in Rabi cropping calendar, there is different crop. In Kharif cropping calendar, you have different crop. Right. So if you have to monitor regularly, I mean, without remote sensing and GIS, then you have to go to field every 6 months. We have almost 6 months, 3 to 6 months for every cropping cycle, 2 cropping cycle, Rabi and Kharif. So after every cropping cycle, you have to go to the field and you have to collect the data. Suppose your project is of 3 years. So in 3 years time, you have to go to the field at least 6 times. Because in a year, you have to go for 2 times. Right. So 6 times you have to go to the field and you have to wait and watch. Okay? And then you will use that data and then you will do the calculation and then you will go to the result. But here what we can do, we have a cropping cycle, we take the remote sensing data and we know, yes, in this 6 month time period, this has happened and this has not happened. So how we can improve? So it is, one cropping cycle is done and you are done. But there you have to wait for the entire, duration of the project, because sometimes you don't have the baseline data. Here you have the baseline data of older remote sensing images. Suppose your project start in 2014 or 2020. So you will be getting data before 2020, right? And you have the afterwards data. So you can compare and you will do it very efficiently. But if you do not have, then it is, very, very expensive and also very, very time taking.
Yes. Yeah. So I can imagine. So many people have to visit there, and still, due to resources, we can. There is some limit. Only this number of villages we can cover. But with GIS, our capabilities with this technology enhances.
Yeah. I mean, suppose you have a very good system, you have a very good computer, very good with RAM and all those processors. Then you can, utilize, I cannot even imagine so much of data you can, manage and you can do it. So today, I mean, in this world, everything, say any sector where you are not using the GIS, everywhere the utilization of GIS and remote sensing is happening. So many platforms are giving freely available remote sensing data. So this, the transition in this remote sensing and GIS is very exponentially increased in our decade, and it will go beyond and beyond and beyond.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So, thinking about going beyond and in future, I would like to know what will be the agriculture in, let's say, coming decade. So maybe in the year 2050, if we time travel. So what are your predictions? So what kind of agriculture will be there, keeping with the increased population, maybe 9 billion or 10 billion at the time?
Yeah, definitely.
How do you see the agriculture over there?
It is a very tricky question as well, very good question as well, because I already mentioned that in 2050, the population will reach around 10 billion. Right. In this month only, we have reached 8 billion, right?
Yeah. We crossed 8 billion mark.
2050, we will be 10 billion.
Right.
So the population is increasing, land is decreasing because population is increasing. They have to live, infrastructure development, everything. So ultimately, the land for agriculture practices will be very limited. So if we have to feed that 10 billion people, we definitely have to move to and make a transition to agriculture practices which enhance the productivity, which also removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Because if you will not make agriculture a green agriculture, you will not be able to meet the target of this IPCC, which is 1.5 or below 1 degree. We have this COP going on in Egypt. So everyone is talking there for, just transition, renewable energies, and, carbon neutral. Even
Net
India has
zero.
also,
Yeah.
the Prime Minister also has committed to be carbon neutral in the future. So if we have to achieve that, we definitely need to have, precise agriculture, precision agriculture, whether you can say it smart agriculture, sustainable agriculture, precision agriculture. I mean, there are different terms, but the goal
Right.
is, same, that we have to achieve the sustainability. So we will definitely see increase in technologies coming to agriculture. We already had so many technologies, but new technologies definitely is the key if we have to feed 10 billion people. Like if we do not have much land, so what we can do is we can go to aqua agriculture, where uh, so many farms, they are practicing those agriculture with the help of water and all. I mean, they are creating layers and layers in the same place. Okay, with the help of foams, sometimes soils, and sometimes different kind of different kind of objects. Agroforestry is also one of the major part of the smart agriculture practices, where farmers are planting trees varieties like mango, papaya, everything which
Right.
which increases their income as well. Because when you have this mango, papaya, they will sell it, so they will
Right.
generate the income as well, and this will also absorb the atmospheric carbon, so it will also giving a shot to our goal that okay, we have planted this much of trees and we have sequestered this much of carbon. So I mean, technology is coming there, and it will be, agriculture will be technology driven in not
Right.
more than 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
Second thing, the concept of insurance, crop insurance, it is a major challenge. It is a
Right.
major challenge because the process of getting crop loan and crop insurance in the village level is a little bit of challenging. But
Yes.
in many parts of the country, it is happening. But there also we need to develop the capacity of the farmers, right, for the insurance, so that if there is a crop loss, they will get the money, so that
Right.
it will not affect their future endeavors and all. This is the one thing, crop insurance part. Second part is agro advisories, smart utilization of information and communication technology in agriculture. So these two things will be I think it will be all around a buzzing topic. So if there is an early rainfall, then what farmer needs to do? So they have
Right.
those agro advisories on their mobile phone. Suppose the meteorological department has said that this year it will be more hotter days as
Right.
compared to the previous year. So what sort of preparation farmers need to do in order to enhance the productivity or the cropping pattern or the fields, how they have to manage? They have
Right.
to go for early sowing, or if they have to wait for some period of time. So these kind of agro advisory is also as important as the different climate smart interventions. So these two,
Right.
crop insurance and information and communication tools at village level, it will revolutionize the agriculture in future.
It's very interesting. So let's see how it unfolds. We can see the advisory is available for all other aspects of the
Yes.
business, but only for agriculture that is missing part. So
Yeah.
hopefully farmers will get empowered with this advisories coming forth.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you can share briefly what a normal person can do for the environment, because I guess that is also important to give hope for the young generation, so it is in their control, and what they can do. Just a short answer from your side.
Yes, the stubble burning in India is also, very prominent cause of air pollution, which we are facing everywhere, not in Delhi, NCR, everywhere. So when we are collecting these things from our houses, we do not need to burn it. So
Right.
we have to simply give it to the collectors who used to collect, in the morning or maybe in the evening, or maybe you can identify nearby dustbin, there you can go and throw. So this is very important for all of us, because air pollution is getting critical year after year. If we have a piece of land, we need to try plant some trees, not for consumption, or maybe you can plant a tulsi tree, or maybe you can plant aloe vera, or maybe your need small kitchen garden, so that you are also getting fresh vegetables. Side by side, you are also contributing to the atmosphere, to the environment, by absorbing some amount of carbon dioxide. So these are small goals for every one of us.
Yes, so that will definitely connect us with nature, and will give more impetus, more motivation maybe to contribute in some bigger forms as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as you are a passionate environmentalist, you are working for sustainability. So I would like to know if there is any resource, maybe some book, or maybe some documentary, some web series, so which has influenced you to work in this field. So if you like to share that with our viewers.
Definitely. Actually, 5-6 years before, I was a journalist. Okay. So I was working with one of India's premier news channel. So I got a chance to cover one of the workshop related to environment. So I went there, and I met new people, and I know what are the new trends in the environment, what is happening, and what is the future, and what is the critical thing at present. So when we interacted, then they told me about climate change, how it is happening, how the glaciers are melting, and everything. Then I thought, I know nothing about climate. I know nothing about environment, even though I have subject in my graduation and post-graduation, EVS, but there it was just a basic understanding, not what is critical and what is happening, and what is the
just textbook trends. Learning.
Yes, textbook learning. What to do, what not to do. But these current issues, relevant issues, when I got to know, then I thought, okay, I should do a course, maybe online or maybe offline, to learn more, so that we can do our part. So then I started searching for universities and colleges who can, give people like us with a humanities background to learn science. So in that phase, it was the revival of Nalanda University in Rajgir, Bihar, where they have this multidisciplinary coursework, where a student from any background can go to any course. Suppose if I am BA, MA Communication, so I can go for MSc. So they gave me chance, and I went there. I studied hardcore science. My major was remote sensing, GIS, and forestry. That 2 year was, that tip of the iceberg, you can say, that 2 years. And then after completing that course, I thought, no, I will not be in the communication sector, but I will come in the mainstream environment sector and development sector, because I have already trained in communication, and I can, communicate with people with our knowledge. So what knowledge I gain, what information I have, I can communicate that with the broader audience, and it will not be that possible in mainstream media or mainstream communication. And now I changed my field, and I am working for this cause, and maybe in coming years I will contribute more towards environment, sustainability, and these aspects. So these are my starting phase, because still, if I am older, but in the field of environment, in the field of sustainability, I am just growing and growing with more knowledge. I am getting more empowered, so that I can do my bit, I can do my research, and I can use that information for broader, reach to the people, and this kind of talk where you are putting your research for wider audience, and maybe for this younger generation to identify things which they have to do to protect the environment. So this kind of talk series is very helpful in decimating the knowledge which I have gained and which I have understood, and what are the things contemporary and also future prospect.
Right.
So all together we can just put it for the wider usage.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, so I guess your story is really inspiring for all the viewers, because in our, I guess, last 2 episodes, our guest speaker also spoke about how everyone, irrespective of their specialization, can contribute for the environmental conservation. And I guess you are the epitome of how that can be done successfully. So thank you so much for sharing this story with us. And yes, so we thoroughly enjoyed the session, learned a lot about GIS, the climate smart agriculture. At the last, if you'd like to share how our viewers can connect with you.
So viewers can contact me with my phone number as well. So I can say it, 700-4455-071. I am already there. And maybe LinkedIn, they can just reach me with my name, Shiv Narayan Singh, IIFM, or maybe through email, singhshivnarayan4@gmail.com. So I am available for all my viewers anytime. If they have any questions, any queries, not related only to agriculture, forestry, water, or anything which I can help them, I will be freely available, and it will be my pleasure to talk to and to interact to all the audience.
Yes, that's very generous. Thank you so much. And it was really great discussion about agriculture, the future agriculture, I would say. So thank you so much for your valuable time. And so let's make a sustainable world.
So thank you very much. And I would also like to thank IUCN Southeast Asia and Dhananjay to conducting this session. And I really enjoyed interacting. And yes, I am always open for any kind of discussion in future as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.